दर्शन दीजो। आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो। तुम हो जगत के दाता, तुम हो जगत के दाता, तुम हो जगत के दाता, तुम हो तुम हो जगत के दाता। तुम्ही हो ब्रह्मा, तुम्ही हो विष्णु, तुम्ही हो ब्रह्मा, तुम्ही हो विष्णु, तुम्ही हो शंकर रूपा, तुम्ही हो शंकर रूपा। सृष्टि स्थिति लय स्वरूप तुम हो, सृष्टि स्थिति लय स्वरूप तुम हो। तुम हो अनादि रूपा, आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो। आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो। आओ गुरु तुम हो जगत के दाता, तुम हो जगत के दाता। अनाथ नाथा दीन बंधु, अनाथ नाथ दीन बंधु, तुम हो आनंद रूपा। अज्ञान नाशक शरण संरक्षक, अज्ञान नाशक शरण संरक्षक, आत्मज्ञान प्रदाता। आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो। आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो। तुम हो जगत के दाता, तुम हो जगत के दाता, तुम हो। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, देव ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव। ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, ओम गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, देव जय गुरुदेव। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी, विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः, गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः, तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी, बरनौ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरा पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। कामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराज, कांदे मूंज जनेऊ साज, शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन, विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, काम काज करिबे को, प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया, सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे, लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए, रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई, सहस बदन तुम्हरो जस गावे, कस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा, जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाँ थे, कभी को बिद कही सके कहाते, तुम उपकार सुग्रीवई कीना, राम मिलाय राजपद दीना, तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जान, प्रभु मुद्रिका मेली मुख माही, जल धिलांघि गए अचर जनाही, दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेरे, राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे, सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी शरण, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाकते कापे, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे, नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा, संकट ते हनुमान चुरावे, मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावे, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे, चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत जियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दास, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुवरपुर जाए, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त का, और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करौ गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महा सुख होय, जो यहाँ पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महाडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। If you are joining this morning for the first time, we are saying Amṛtabindu Upaniṣad. I will chant. We'll do all the verses. Please try to repeat the lines. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrinuyam Devaah. Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah. स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः। स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः। स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः। स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। मनो हि द्विविधं प्रोक्तम् शुद्धं च अशुद्धमेव च। अशुद्धं कामसंकल्पम् शुद्धं कामविवर्जितम्। मन एव मनुष्याणां कारणं बन्धमोक्षयोः। बन्धाय विषयासक्तं मुक्तं निर्विषयं स्मृतम्। यतो निर्विषयस्यास्य मनसो मुक्तिरिष्यते। अतो निर्विषयं नित्यम् मन कार्यं मुमुक्षुणा। निरस्त विषयासंगम संनिरुद्धं मनोहृदि। यदा यात्यात्मनो भावम् तदा तत्परमं पदम्। तावदेव निरोद्धव्यम् यावद्धृतिगतं क्षयम्। एतज्ज्ञानं च ध्यानं च शेषो न्यायश्च विस्तरः। नैव चिन्त्यं न चाचिन्त्यं न चिन्त्यं चिन्त्यमेव तत्। पक्षपातविनिर्मुक्तं ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा। स्वरेण सन्धयेत् योगम् अस्वरं भावयेत् परम्। अस्वरेणानुभावेन भावो वा भावयिष्यते। तदेव निष्कलं ब्रह्म निर्विकल्पं निरञ्जनम्। तद्ब्रह्माहमिति ज्ञात्वा ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते ध्रुवम्। निर्विकल्पमनन्तं च हेतुदृष्टान्तवर्जितम् अप्रमेयमनादिं च यज्ञात्वा मुच्यते बुधः न निरोधो न चोत्पत्तिः न बद्धो न च साधकः न मुमुक्षुर्न वै मुक्तः इत्येषा परमार्थता एक एवात्मा मन्तव्यः जाग्रत् स्वप्न सुषुप्तिषु स्थानत्रय व्यतीतस्य पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते एक एव हि भूतात्मा भूते भूते व्यवस्थितः एकधा बहुधा चैव दृश्यते जलचन्द्रवत् घटसंवृतमाकाशम् नीयमाने घटे यथा घटो नीयेतनाकाशम् तथा जीवो नभोपमः घटवद्विविधाकारम् भिद्यमानं पुनः पुनः तद्भग्नं न च जानाति स जानाति च नित्यशः स जानाति च नित्यशः. He knows perfectly. See, Brahman knows perfectly. That is the meaning of that last phrase. God knows perfectly. So, if we are speaking about self or Brahman and we say Brahman knows, then we are giving some sort of doership to Brahman or some sort of identity to Brahman. So, you will find many times in scriptures, phrases are used which seem to be contradictory. Because Brahman is described as attributeless, right? So if we say Brahman knows, then we are actually attributing an attribute to Brahman as knower. He is knower. So when such phrases are used, we have to understand there one of two things. One is, either you are referring to not Brahman but Ishvara. Ishvara is qualified Brahman, or Brahman which is seen with his upadhi, which is called as Maya. When Brahman is seen with his upadhi, it's called as Ishvara. Now what is the upadhi? Maya. What is the meaning of that? It is like a person seen with his PhD and a person seen without his PhD. See, when he comes to teach in the university here, everybody call him Professor so-and-so or Doctor so-and-so, right? So that time he's being seen with his upadhi, his qualifications. When he goes home, his wife says, Suno, that time she strips him of all his upadhi, her PhD and everything, nothing. Will you please go there and get some sabji, she tells. No upadhi. Yes. So, that person can be seen with upadhi or without upadhi. So in the very same way, Brahman has an upadhi. This upadhi is called as Maya. So when he's seen with that upadhi, then he's called as Ishvara. When he's seen without that upadhi, he's called as Brahman. So here, if we say that God knows perfectly, Sajanati Nityashaha, he knows well, he knows perfectly, he knows all the time. I mean, we have now given him some attribute. He's a knower. So there we will be speaking about Ishvara. If we are speaking of Brahman, there's no upadhi, no qualification, no attribute, then he doesn't know anything. So then some people are, so you mean, so he's totally ignorant? Brahman is totally ignorant? In such a case, we don't say that he's ignorant, and we do not say that he knows also. So we cannot say that he's ignorant, and we cannot say that he knows. So we are debarred from saying either one of them. So what do we say? We say he is knowledge itself. That is why he calls us Chit. His consciousness, awareness, knowledge itself. It's not that he knows. He is the knowing principle itself. He's not a knower. So this phrase will have to be interpreted as either one of those. What is that? He is knowledge itself, or the knowing principle itself. Or Ishvara knows perfectly. He'll have to be taken here as Ishvara. This is for those who are studying this Vedanta and they want strict terminology and all that kind of thing. If you are simple bhakta, yes, Bhagavan knows everything. Case closed. He's omniscient. What other question is there? The Lord knows everything. Bas. So, when all the manifestations that have emerged from that reality, when all the manifestations have been dissolved, what is left? You see, like when all the waves in the ocean have simmered down, what is left is just pure water. See, ocean there, without any modifications. So in the very same way, all the manifestations of Brahman, which are nothing but in the form of thoughts. Really, a thing in this world may look solid, This may look solid, and you may not ever think that this is only a bundle of thoughts in our mind. Everything in the world. So let us say solid, right? Solidity is only a thought which we know. It is outside. So outsideness is another thought. Separate, distinct, all those are thoughts only. Those are things we have in our heads, isn't it? So this thing comprises a bundle of thoughts only. You see? And no, thoughts are not solid. But solidity is a thought. You see? So the whole universe is made up of thoughts. So all those thoughts are nothing but modified awareness. Thoughts are nothing but modified awareness. Like pots are nothing but modified clay. Now we'll see next verse. This is how the universe comes into being. Shabdamaya vrito naiva. Shabdamaya vrito naiva. Tamasayati pushkare. Tamasayati pushkare. Bhinne tamasi chaikatvam. Bhinne tamasi chaikatvam. Eka eva anupashyati. Eka eva anupashyati. Shabdamaya. That word Shabda, wonderful word. And there are so many ways you can understand that phrase. Shabdamaya avritaha na eva tamasa yati pushkare. Because our mind is overpowered by, or our mind is nothing but a manifestation of Shabdamaya, and we are so involved in and consumed by Shabdamaya, Nayati Pushkara. We don't know the constructs of this Maya in the space of Brahman. It is like this, I do not know if you have ever found yourself looking for something in the house. Many times I do this. You're looking for something, right? Searching for something there, which you misplaced. You can't find it. And you go on looking. Meanwhile, while you're looking, you find something else, which you were not looking for, right? You find that other thing, and that thing becomes so interesting now, you forgot what you were looking for. You get taken up with this thing, isn't it? That happens quite often, actually. And then I forgot that I had this thing. And you become taken over by that. So, these constructs of Maya are so wonderful that we get caught up in them, we get consumed by them, that we forget what the constructs are made up of, and we also forget how they come into being, how they are made up. We get enamored by their flashiness, by their brilliance and all that sort of thing, and we forget that they are made up of nothing but Satchit, Anand. And we forget that they are made by the special power of Bhagavan, which is called as Maya. Those two things we forget, and we become consumed by how nice they look and how attractive they are and what they will do for me if I get them, and so many things. So we become taken up by the superficialities of this world. And this phrase, Shabda Maya, gives a hint as to how they are constructed and how they are made up. So two words are there. One is Shabda and one is Maya. Two very powerful words. Now let me back up a little bit and try to deal with those two words. One word is called as Shabda. Shabda means word also. Now see. Word is nothing but sound. Even if we make a symbol of a word, right? Through writing, through letters, if we make a symbol, the moment we see the symbol, we pronounce a sound in our head, isn't it? So when I see A, I say A in my head. So corresponding to the sight, there is a sound which I say in my head. A, like that. Or Om, or whatever sound, which follows from seeing the symbol. So, all sounds in the mind is really sounds relating to something outside. Like for example, when I see this object, I make a sound in my head. Watch. There's a sound in my head. So the thought of this thing is represented in my head as a sound. You follow this thing, huh? The thought of this is represented in my head only as a sound. So when I see it, it comes to the mind as a sound. Yes. The image, an image is nothing but a sound. Because prior to seeing it, my mind was quiet. When I see it, my mind says, oh, watch. So it comes to the mind as watch. Now let us trace this thoughts as sound through a second process now. See here. Have you heard people saying or asking you, what language do you think in? People ask that, huh? What language do you think in? So some people think in English, some people think in Hindi, some people think in Spanish, some people don't think. Anyway, whenever thinking is going on, it is always in some language. Now what? Language is sounds or not? Languages are made up of sounds or not? Language is nothing but sounds. So it means all my thinking is nothing but sounds because I am thinking in a language. So all thinking is sounds. Every thought is a sound really. Now, we said yesterday, if you remember, that all sounds are born from silence. Just like the clay makes up the pot. I mean, the pot is fashioned from something. What are sounds fashioned from? Silence only. The raw material for sounds is silence. And just like in the case of the pot, that clay which makes up the pot, that clay can dissolve and go back into ordinary clay. In the very same way, every sound that emerges from silence dissolves and goes back into silence. So what you have, all these thoughts arising in our mind in the form of sounds, they're all arising from silence, and they keep coming and going back. They keep coming and going back. Like that, constantly. Right? And in most cases, they come with such fury, they come with such, in such numbers, they come so fast, and that process is going on so swiftly that we forget that there is a silence behind. Because so many thoughts are coming. And these thoughts sometimes are so involved, and one leads to another. And sometimes there's a big jumble of thoughts, and that's what we call confusion. And then we feel very much at home. Because there's so many of them, and that's where we are, right? So anyway, all of them are being born from that silence. And all the thoughts are in the form of sounds. Now it is said that all sounds, or in this case all thoughts, they are to be found within the parameters laid down by the sound Om. Because the Om starts with an A and ends with a Ma sound. And it is said that all sounds are to be found within this. All sounds are to be found within these parameters. A and Ma. A is the first sound and Ma is the last sound. So all thoughts are to be found within Om, or all sounds are to be found within Om. It means Om contains all words, all sounds possible. So how do you know that A is the first sound and Ma is the last sound? You can test it. See, when you open your mouth to speak, from down at the bottom of the vocal cord, that sound which comes A. And when you close your lip, the last sound on the outside is Ma. Now try to reverse that and say it. Try to say with your lips closed. You can't, no? Now try to say Ma with your lips open. You can't say. You have to close your lips to say Ma. So that is the last sound, Ma, with the lips closed. And the first one, the moment you open, that's why a baby, when they open their mouth, what is and then soon they learn to say some ga, ga, goo, goo. And that time the parents say, see, the mother says, he's saying my name. The father said, no, you don't hear well, he's saying my name. Poor fellow is only blabbering some with some other letters added there. Yeah? Ga, ga, goo, goo. But without the ga in front, the first thing that comes out really when the vocal cords are open is like that. So the first sound is and last sound is Ma. And within those parameters, all sounds are formed. Now, how is it from silence, undifferentiated, uniform silence, a sound can emerge? The sound is Shabda. How that sound or thought, how can it emerge? The next word tells that. That is Maya. From that silence, sound or thought emerges. I mean, universe emerges. Because universe, I just told you, universe is nothing but thoughts. Right? So universe emerges. Now see here. If there is a uniform silence, undifferentiated, and that thing has to manifest as something, in this case a sound or a thought, right? If that silence has to manifest as something, or let us study the first simple example. The clay is there, right? And from that clay we have to manifest a pot. It means to say that potness has to be inherent in clay, isn't it? Clay has to allow for itself to manifest as a pot. If it doesn't allow, you could never make clay into a pot. Like for example, take the same clay and make air. You can't, isn't it? Clay does not allow for itself to manifest as air. But air is a real thing. But you cannot take clay and manifest air. This basic raw material, clay, doesn't allow that type of manifestation. It only has a limited number of manifestations. You can take clay and make a pot. You can take clay and make a horse or a donkey or something, right? But you cannot take clay and make air. So it's the number of manifestations possible through clay is limited. But in this case, the number of manifestations possible from silence, from being, from self, from reality, the number of manifestations possible is infinite. That is first thing. Second thing, I'm telling, the potness has to be inherent already in clay. Then only it can manifest. So if infinite number of manifestations is possible from this reality, it means they already have to be inherent in reality. They have to be existing there already. And that is the meaning of infinity also. When we say self is infinite, it means every possibility that you can ever think of, or you cannot even think of, has to already be there. Otherwise it's not infinite. The possibilities in Brahman has to be infinite. That is what makes him infinite. Anything conceivable or also inconceivable has to already be inherent in Brahman. And that is how it can manifest. It has to be there. So that infinite number of possibilities inherent in Brahman, infinite number of possibilities, that thing is called as Maya. And it really doesn't do anything to Brahman. A possibility cannot do anything to the original material. The possibility of pot in clay doesn't really change clay in any way or modify clay in any way or affect clay in any way. It's just a possibility, though inherent. It doesn't change the quality of clay in any way. So Maya, which is infinite number of possibilities inherent in Brahman, really doesn't do anything to Brahman. It is as good as it not being there. That is an amazing thing, isn't it? Something which is there, which is as good as not being there. A possibility is such a thing. A possibility is there, but as good as not being there, because it doesn't affect the material in any way or the fundamental reality in any way. I'll give you a very simple example. Water. Now see, water can be in 3 states. 3 states means water can be solid, like ice. Water can be liquid, like gas, like water, liquid water, and water can be gaseous, like steam. Right? So, 3 possibilities of water. Now, the 3 possibilities are inherent in water. But none of these possibilities do anything to H2O. The possibility of being, whether it is solid, liquid or gas, it doesn't change the structure of H2O. It remains all the time as H2O, whether solid, liquid or gas. So a possibility really doesn't change the structure of the basic material. A possibility is just something which is there. So they are not there. That's why in Sanskrit, Maya is described as Yama Sa Maya. Look here, you are talking about something. So if you are talking about the thing, it means the thing is there. Well, otherwise, what are you talking about? If you are talking about something, it has to be there. But the definition of the thing is saying, Ya Ma Sa Maya. That which is not there is Maya. This is the nature of a possibility. Though there, not there. Because it doesn't do anything. Present but not present. Kya baat hai? Welcome to Vedanta. There but not there. Like the universe, like snake on the rope. There but not there. We have so many instances in life where things there but not there. Our existence also is like that. There but not. That is why we should not feel that we are so important. Because even though we are there, we are really not there. It means this BMI and all that. It's just a manifestation. Alright, so now, this uniform, one pure silence has inherent in it every conceivable sound or every conceivable thought. Now we are equating both sound and thought. Any thought that comes up in your mind is only a noise. Any thought that arises in our mind is only a noise. It is a departure from immaculate silence. That is why I say we say at the end, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We want to go back to that? Silence. Anytime I leave there, I am venturing into the wilderness. And when I venture into the wilderness, there will be bears and wolves. So we want to come back and be quiet. Because the whole world is looking for quietude. And quietude is Shanti and Sukha. These two are same. Shanti and Sukha. Bhagavan says in Gita, Ashantasya kuta sukham. For the person who doesn't have Shanti, where is there? Sukha. So they are one and same only. So now the inherent thing, or that which is inherent in that infinite reality, the number of possibilities inherent is also infinite. So you should never put anything outside the capacity of God, or put anything outside the capacity of reality. Anything in this universe is possible. Things which you cannot even dream about is also possible. That, the inherent number of possibilities, infinite number of possibilities, is called as Maya. And when it leaves quietude and manifests as a sound, it is now called as Shabda Maya. Means whatever we see manifest is called as Shabda Maya, because Maya manifests as Shabda. So the whole universe is Avritaha, consumed by, fashioned from, or made up of Shabda Maya. Everything we are seeing in the universe is only, which universe you are experiencing, is only a passing whisper. The universe is only an ephemeral, temporary, passing whisper which doesn't feature in a limitless expanse of pure being, pure silence. And yet we think our 50, 60, 70 years is so long and so substantial, and we'll do so many things. But in infinite being, our 60, in infinite time, how much is a million years? In infinite time, a million years doesn't feature even. Therefore, we should not be too consumed by our, it means too involved with our life and our all time on this earth and achievements and all such things. They don't even feature in this universe. See, if you take our earth and you put it beside the sun is this big and the earth is this small, right? Tiny little earth. And then there are so many solar systems, solar bodies in this world, where if you put our sun before them, they become this big and our sun becomes that small. Then where does the earth go? And if you keep on doing that in this universe, you'll find that at some point, the earth doesn't fit here. See, if the earth doesn't fit here, think, huh? Then, there are so many continents on this earth, right? The earth itself doesn't fit here. Where do continents come? Then this country also doesn't fit here. If this country doesn't fit here, where is Florida? Florida doesn't fit here. Where is Jacksonville? Gurudev used to take our mind on journeys like this, And he used to say, see, you come to America, you come to Florida, you come to Jacksonville, you come to this university. In this university, so many buildings are there. Come to this one building. So many rooms, come to this room. Then so many chairs, come to your chair. And some of us are like, very small, we take half a chair. And then here comes this being who is on an earth that doesn't fit here. And in this being, there are so many thoughts. Right? He himself doesn't fit here. What about these thoughts now? There are so many thoughts. And sometimes in our life, one thought grips our life. And that becomes the universe for us. Isn't it? He himself doesn't fit here. What to talk about that thought? That thought grips our life. And this person uses that one thought to destroy so many people and all sorts of things in his life. Or he himself gets so consumed by that thought, he feels that there is nothing else in the universe. But that thought also doesn't exist or fit here at all. So like this we have to, this is how Gyan also helps a person to surrender. To surrender what? The individual ego. But anyway, now all of these things manifest as thoughts, and these thoughts really, they're so insignificant from the point of view of their object. Every thought will have an object, What is important is the material from which the thought is carved out, fashioned, made. That material is called as consciousness, silence, Brahman, awareness. And it just manifests as this thought and dissolves. Manifests and dissolves. So this universe is manifesting and dissolving constantly. So the important thing is now to shift the mind from the object of the thought to the material from which the thought is made. And this is where all sadhana is supposed to zero in. I'm not going to be so taken up with the outer manifestation, but be taken up with the thing from which it has manifested. Very important. That if we are taken up with the outer manifestation, it means we are taken up with the snake and we forget the rope. So now if you are taken up with the snake, what will happen? Well, most people don't like snakes. So when you see the snake and you think, oh, this is the only reality which is there, then we start running. Some people run for a stick to beat the snake. And poor rope gets so much beating. So this is how we are living a false life. So it's all called by Shabda Maya and Amṛtabindu. The whole universe is consumed by this. We all see only the outer manifestation and we fail to see the substance. And that Shabda Maya or Maya itself has a wonderful quality. It's called as tamas. Tamasa yati pushkare. Na eva yati pushkare. We don't see the reality because that special quality called as tamas. Now let me tell you about this Maya a little bit. Maya has this twin power, it is said. One is called as Avarana Shakti and the other is called as Vikshepa Shakti. Avarana Shakti means Maya veils or it covers. It has this power to veil or to cover. So now when I see, like for example, a person goes into, sometimes you go into these nice shops and they have all sorts of vase or vases and are made of clay and pots and decorated pieces and all. So the moment you look at it, oh, then your mind goes into a tangent. Well, this will look very exquisite, if I put it in that particular part of my house. And the color matches with those curtains, And the height also, symmetrically, it looks perfect. And your mind goes into that time you forget whether it's China clay, American clay, Indian clay. You don't think, you're just thinking about all the other outer. You forget it's clay altogether. So the mind doesn't go to the basic material. So I have to be able to pull the mind and keep it there. Now, what causes the mind not to leave the superficial layer and go to the fundamental layer? See, the mind gets caught up with the superficial layer and it never leaves that superficial layer and go to the fundamental layer. That thing which causes that is called as tamas. Maya has a special quality which is called as tamas. It doesn't want the mind to leave the superficial layer and go to the fundamental layer. It veils or covers the fundamental layer. That is one of the tricks of Maya. So the effort has to be made constantly to pull the mind from the superficial layer and put it at the fundamental layer. It means we have a battle constantly with tamas, with the avarana shakti. There's a constant battle. Now let me tell you something. That battle ripples throughout life. This battle ripples throughout life. For example, there's a constant battle going on in all of us to leave unhealthy food and eat healthy food. Means that which is better, which is good, which is, shreya. We leave that and we take prayer all the time. In relative terms. So, you will see the food which is nice and spicy and all that sort of thing, which, tantalizes the tongue, that we love. That may not be good for the body and all. So to see beyond that and to look at the more important things. Oh, food is not really about taste, only or merely. Food is about health. Food is about harmony. Food is about balance. Food is about fairness and equality and justice and all that kind of thing. We don't think about all of the things associated with food. There's so much of fairness and equality and all things associated with food. For example, right now, this country is unfairly consuming most of the food on earth. Half of which is wasted also. Millions of tons every day are just thrown. So fairness and justice and all is associated with food or not? It is. So we don't think all of those things about food. This is yummy. What is the word in America? Yum, yum. So we only judge food based on yumminess. And based on that we eat, we consume, we want it. And then there are many people outside waiting also to make you discover more yummy things. That their job is to make you discover more and more, or to make the food more and more yummy. And all the important things, the most substantial things about food, associated with food, their job is to make sure that that is veiled from your mind. You see? So I'm telling this veiling power of Maya ripples throughout life in so many ways. It is amazing. You should not see the good. You should not see the beneficial things. You should only see the things which people want you to see. So many good things are going on in the world. What does the media report? Only the bad things. Yes. Good things don't sell. Only bad things sell. So, the veiling power of Maya is called Avarana Shakti. Second thing now, second power of Maya is Vikshepa. Vikshepa means, have you seen like a volcano? Now sometimes that volcano is very dormant like that. There are some places in the world where you have dormant volcanoes. And then suddenly that volcano flares up because of some internal pressure. which is there. So sometimes very much like that. So that ability to just throw up things, that is called as Vikshepa Shakti. So within the reality, there is Maya. That Maya manifests in two ways. One is Avarana, it covers the reality first, and then it throws up the unreality. It throws up constructs. It throws up names and forms. It throws up sounds and thoughts, like that. And then we become enamored by the sounds and thoughts, names and forms, colors and, hues, like that. And we forget the reality which is below, beneath. So that's called as Vikshepa Shakti of Maya. Now, once some person went to Guruji and said, Amaji, my parents put my name Maya. I don't know why they put my name Maya. Maya has such a negative connotation. So Guruji said a nice thing, which we have to remember. Maya is the infinite, inherent power of the Lord. Maya is the power of the Lord, is inherent and infinite. So if it is the power of the Lord and inherent, infinite, then Maya is divine also. So we should not always have this negative connotation of Maya. Usually it is portrayed as something negative. But it is not like that. If it is power of the Lord, it has to be divine or not. So what we have to learn to see, and when we say, sometimes we say we have to mentally dissolve the world, that is only a mental dissolution, It's not that I'm really going to take things in the world and melt them in some pot or something. Mental dissolution means an appreciation of the true nature of the thing. Like when I see, let us say, a sculpted piece of ice in Toronto, every year, I don't know those who come from Toronto, every year in some cities where it's cold, you have this competition. They have huge chunks of ice, big piece of ice from that wall to this wall. And there are people there with chainsaws. And out of those ice, they carve things. So when he's finished with that piece, it will be a really wonderful frozen sculpted piece, yeah. So now, when you look at it, you see, let us say he makes a polar bear with a baby and 2-3 penguins. So you look at the piece, you look at the result, so it gives you a feeling like you're in the North Pole or something, right? But really all of that scenery is only made from H2, from H2O. So you can stand there and mentally dissolve the whole scenery into H2O without actually dissolving the scenery. You don't have to take heat and melt the ice. In your mind, you can dissolve it and say this whole thing is only H2O. So you dissolve it mentally and look from that level, or you just look from the level of the names and forms. So we are capable of that. So it's not that we are going to actually physically dissolve anything in this universe. What we are really doing is understanding that everything in the universe is really carved out of, fashioned out of that reality. Then that will be called as Yati Pushkare. He knows, that person comes to know the reality which is there in the universe without interfering with the universe. Our job is not to interfere with anything in this universe because it is a divine manifestation of the reality. So from that point of view, the manifestation is divine. That is why bhaktas say, see what the Jnani says, no, all this is false. And the Jnani goes inside. Bhakta says what? All this is Krishna. All this is Ram. It's all manifestation of Ram. So the whole thing is divine. So Maya has not to be given this negative connotation. Ram's power is which has manifested this whole, and if it is Ram's power, you cannot say it is negative or anything. It's divine. So the person who comes to this understanding, he understands that it is the Lord who pervades all things. Yati pushkare. In the vast space of consciousness, this whole manifestation subsists, exists, persists, and it is going on. Bhinne tamasi chaikatva. This will happen only when we are able to look beyond the facade of the tamas or the avarana. When we have so trained our vision to look beyond the facade of avarana. Otherwise, the avarana is very, very powerful. Look here, you are listening to this now, right? In this class, there are 70 or 80 people, whatever. You have set yourself upon a course of trying to look beyond the avarana. You know, the vast majority of human beings, they ask, what avarana? What are you talking about? What maya? What falsity? Everything in this world is real. Huh? They couldn't care less about what we are talking about. So everything becomes so real. There is no such thing as avarana or covering or veiling or any such thing. It is real. But when we look beyond the veiling, ekatvam eka evanupashyati. He sees that one reality which has manifested as all these countless things. One reality alone. That is called the vision of oneness. And this is where we are supposed to reach. I see that what has manifested as me is the same thing as manifested as you. And it is the same thing that has manifested as the space between you and I. Same one thing. And that one thing is so wonderful, it can manifest as anything. Anything which is visible or invisible. Anything which is great or not so great. It is the same one thing which is manifesting as all things. Eka eva anupashyati. Person comes to see that one reality. That reality has names also. And one of its most favorite name is Om. A very famous name of that reality. That Om and Brahman is spoken about in this next verse also. See here. Shabdaksharam param brahma. Shabdaksharam param brahma. Tasmin kshine yadaksharam. Tasmin kshine yadaksharam. Tadvidvanaksharam dhyayet. Tadvidvanaksharam dhyayet. Yadi che chanti atmanaha. Yadi che chanti atmanaha. Shabda aksharam param brahma. Tasmin kshine yadaksharam. Now see. What is it telling, When this pure silence has manifested as all of these thoughts and sounds, i.e. universe, what we should engage ourselves in? A process of dissolving back all of them into silence. That is what we should be engaged in. Tasmin kshine yadaksharam. Any sound that has emerged, we should engage ourselves in dissolving back that sound into silence. By understanding or by meditation. So one is by understanding, means in the Bhakti Marg, I understand that this is Ram. I understand that everything is Ram. Or in the Gyan Marg, by meditation. What? The manufacturing factory or the manufacturing machinery, which is the mind, That mind I make quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter. And then the yogi sits and does that. He makes the mind absolutely silent. And what happens for the yogi who does that, goes inside, he goes into samadhi, universe, dissolves. There's no universe. For the jnani who comes out, for the bhakta who comes out and opens his eyes and looks and says that everything is Ram, universe is there. So he has also dissolved the universe. The one who goes inside and makes his mind quiet, he has dissolved the universe. The one who looks out and sees everything as Ram, he has also dissolved the universe in Ram. There are two ways to dissolve. Yeah. Whichever path you, the goal is same, the end is same. So now, tasmin kshine yadaksharam, when he has dissolved all things in that reality, then that vidwan aksharam dhyayet, and he sits there meditating on the thing into which all things have dissolved. I, God, or silence or reality, meditating on that, then that person will find shanti. So if we want shanti, yet shanti michhati, the person who wants shanti, this is what he is supposed to do. That is the idea. Either I dissolve internally or I dissolve externally. But that dissolution must come. I must, or sometimes you say resolve. Some people say resolve. Better is perhaps dissolve. All things in God, in reality. So both the techniques are there. Some people like to sit and make the mind quieter and quieter and quieter. Yato yato nischarati manaschanchalam stiram. From wherever the mind has gone, we bring it back. Tatastato niyamyaitat. Bring the mind and take it inside and let it become quiet. Let it become silent. So in that way I dissolve the whole universe. Because the universe is noise. We just said that. Universe is thought. Thought is only noise. So I'm going to relinquish all the noise and just be. Okay. This is a good place to stop also. We know why stop all the noise. All right. Now we'll have some announcements and then we'll take a break. We have to, unfortunately, resume the noise.